Hey, my name's Trevor Joren, and this is my story. This is the reason why I created Lucid Vision. This is the reason why I'm sitting here in front of a camera. So if we rewind 4 years back, I was lost. I was a total drifter. I was going to a school that was far away from where I lived. My friends all lived incredibly far away from me. And coming home from school every day was kind of a drag because, I had lost touch with the people that I lived around, and I would come home, I'd do my homework, or lack thereof, and really have nothing to do. So I started to think, I want to hang out with some people. I don't really have anything going on. I want to hang out with people, and I started to, but I ended up falling into hanging out with the wrong crowd of people. And it's not that the people I was hanging out with are bad people, but we were immature and we made some bad decisions, and I would, just do a lot of things that were destructive to my health and stay out late and party quite often at a young age, and it was just bad. And I was such a drifter. I had really no hopes or aspirations for any future. It was kind of, okay, I'm living in the moment and this is it. I didn't even think about the future. And it got to the point where my friends and I had taken one of our parents' cars, and we were speeding through a neighborhood and careening down a hill, and there was a left-handed turn that was quite long, and we thought we could make it, but we were not smart, and we were going way too fast, and hit a pothole, drifted off the corner of the road, and we're sliding through somebody's grass, and we just narrowly missed a boulder that would have killed us all if we hit it. The boulder was like huge, and we were going so fast in this car. Narrowly missed the boulder, slid across the street, up somebody's front lawn, and crashed into two parked cars in their driveway and totaled all three. And the wreck was so bad. This car that we were driving was absolutely totaled. And where I was sitting, the front light was basically where the windshield should be. It was smashed, and the windshield was all cracked. And I'm so thankful that I was able to walk out of that accident without dying. And I feel like I was given a second chance. But even with that revelation, even with that, okay, I have a second chance, nothing really changed. Taken a month later, and my friends and I are back to stealing cars again and doing the same stupid stuff, like taking cars and going for joyrides at night and just being idiots. And one time, and this is before I even had a license, I was driving down the road and I was going really fast in my parents' car, and we sped right past a cop. And you see the lights flick on in the background, whoop whoop, and we were like, oh crap, we are in for it now. And so we pull into a little parking lot, and the cops come up and they ask us for license and registration. And when they see how young we are, their faces are just like dumbstruck. I think I was like not even 16, and I ended up riding back to my house in the back of a trooper, and the lights are flashing in the neighborhood, and it's like 4 in the morning, and I have to go wake my parents up. And when I knock on the door, and my dad comes down the stairs, and I have to tell him that I took their car and was speeding and going like 60 miles per hour over the speed limit, I think they realized that there's something wrong with our child and we need to do something about this. And so what they did is they gave me a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, and essentially I was put on house arrest for a while. I wasn't able to see any of my closest friends, and it took me a while to realize that this was a blessing in disguise, because at that current point in time I hated where I was. I hated being stuck in the room and having to read this dumb book about self-help. But it taught me some great principles, and it took me a while to come to the realization that I do have the ability to choose what I want in my life and in my future. And so, I highly attribute where I am today to Sean Covey's book, The 7 Habits, because it gave me a taste of the good life. It gave me a taste that, I can achieve what I set my mind to, and I can choose the people that I hang out with, and I can grow myself as a person, and it just gave me a lot of internal confidence. And from that point, I was kind of hooked on self-help, and so I started to pick up a ton of books. But it wasn't until I realized after my freshman year of college that I still hadn't really figured it out. Because going through my freshman year of college, I was a typical freshman student. I went out, I made mistakes, I had a good time, but I still made a ton of mistakes. I didn't perform as well as I wanted to. And towards the end of my freshman year, I realized that there were a couple of people on campus that I just knew I wanted to be like, because I felt like these guys just had it figured out. They were doing well in school and they seemed to be well put together, and I just really admired them. And Tamer Begum and Amy David, you are the two that I admired. And it's funny thinking back to the moment when I said, I've got to go approach these people and ask them what did they do in their life that made them who they are. And so it turns out that there was a common thread between these people, and it was a leadership and young adult success program called LEAP. And it's held every year in California, and I said, you know what, I want to go to California, but not only that, I want to be like these people, so I've got to go to this. And so I applied and I got in, and I went, and it changed my life. This is my book from the last summer. I went back as a coach, but the first time I went through the program, it taught me so many things about how to become a successful young adult. And it taught me that I have the power to chase my dreams. It gave me the confidence to chase my dreams, and it gave me the direct skills to approach mentors, to set my goals, to manage my time. And the experience overall was so wonderful that I was so supercharged about it. And I was like, God, this is the best education I've ever received. This stuff is so valuable. Why haven't I been exposed to this before? And so I really got hooked, and I started to study the principles from this program because I knew that it was so amazing. And I documented that and sent it in to them, and I ended up going back as a coach so that I can work with other young adults and teach them some of the principles that I had learned this past summer. And not only that, but I had read a couple books like Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, and The 4 Essentials of Entrepreneurial Thinking, to name a few that were really impactful. Think and Grow Rich, another one. But this education that I've been cultivating and these success principles that I've been studying have made a really, really big impact in my life. And I went back as a coach, and being in that experience, actually helping other young adults realize that they also have the ability to chase their dreams, that was quite an incredible experience. And I knew that I wanted to be a young entrepreneur, and I knew that I had wanted to do something positive in this world. And I figured, okay, this is such a great education, but why haven't I received it in school, or why haven't I received it anywhere else? So I started to look into it, and I figured out that, there's an opportunity here to create a program for young adults that teaches them, how to be successful socially and academically, and even as young professionals. And it all stemmed from the education that I had learned at the LEAP program. And so I highly credit those guys to where I am today. But there's just so much opportunity out there. And there's so many channels that young adults can reach in an easier way. It's easier to hop on the internet than it is to go to a program. Not that I'm downsizing the program, because you don't get the same experience on the internet. But what I hope Lucid Vision can do in the very short term is provide a type of education for young adults that teaches them that yes, it is possible, and with this mindset, you can become successful in your social life, and you can learn how to rock it in school, and you can learn how to get a great job as a young professional and how to excel in your career. And so, it's a cultivation of what I've learned and what some of my closest buddies who are also doing similar things have taught me and what they have learned. And I'm just looking forward to the future and how it's going to continue to grow. And I hope that you take the time and look at the series of videos that I've produced, as well as the documents on lucidvision.org. And you can also check me out on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter, and I look forward to getting in touch with you. Thanks.